Tradition lives here. Okanagan Sun Football with Ryan Waters.
Okanagan Sun alum Greg Barnard, who played for the Sun from 1994 to 1997, has become an auxiliary constable on the west side, and on Monday afternoon, he was thrust into a life-or-death situation with the fire at Seclusion Bay.
Actually, myself, being an auxiliary constable, we always work with a regular member. It's just the way the RCMP has set up the program. So you're always under direct supervision as a member that you work with. So Constable Rutley and I were working at a call in Glen Rosa when we were returning to West Bank and noticed a big plume of white smoke coming down from behind Gorman's Mill.
Yeah.
And basically that's how it all started. So we returned to Highway 97 and turned towards Peachland to head down to see exactly what was going on. And that's when we noticed the big plume of smoke and knew that we're going to be facing a large fire.
Remembering what happened last year, and it's in the area of Gorman's Mill, did you think to yourself, oh boy, here we go again?
You know, that's exactly what I thought. And, you know, everyone in the Okanagan now, it's just a reality of our life. You know, it's not often the idea of, I wonder if we're going to have a fire this year. It's kind of, where is the fire going to be this year?
Which is a kind of a scary thought for somebody like you. You're kind of in the front lines, are you not?
Well, it's true, but I mean, that could be said for everyone in the emergency services business, right?
Right. So talk to us. You went into a place to save somebody, is that right?
Well, what had happened is Constable Rutley and I were making our way through Seclusion Bay along with Constable Benfield. We made the decision, because Ryan and I were first in, that we'd go closest to the fire where the residents were, and Constable Benfield would make her way down to the water where the main body of the people would be at the Seclusion Bay Resort.
And that's when you saw the fire at Seclusion Bay, the actual flames?
That's true. Actually, what had happened is Constable Rutley and I had gone to the residence that we knew would be closest to where the actual fire was. So we drove down Seclusion Bay Road and then entered Miss Dixon's driveway, which is the lady that we ended up going after. When we got into her driveway, we got our vehicle turned around so that we were in a position to get out if we had to be. And the fire was about 15 or 20 feet away from her home at this point on the top side of the bank. And the fire was still in the grass at this point. It hadn't gone up through into the trees or anything. So I remember Constable Rutley and I said to each other, you know, there's no way there's anybody home. You know, they would see this. So Constable Rutley went to the house, and I just took a look around the property to make sure that we had a way out in case the fire got bad on us. And he knocked on the door and no one answered. And when he went around to the screen door and the glass door on the side of the building, that's when he found Miss Dixon lying on the couch and had to go in and actually wake her up. So she didn't know what was happening, and you had to kind of wake her up to get her out. True. Yeah, she was actually asleep, so she had no idea what was going on around her outside. Once she got outside, what was her mindset? You know, it was incredible. Through the entire ordeal, she was incredibly calm. At no point did she panic. So I know she had a grasp on the situation, and I mean, we were very fortunate. She was very easy to deal with in the sense that she kept her calm and just allowed us to do everything that we had to do in order to get everybody out. Yeah, and you're trained for these situations, but the adrenaline's got to be pumping a little bit. The heart's got to be pumping a little bit faster than it normally would be. Oh, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. You know, you look back on it now, and to be honest, you know, people have been asking me questions now and again, and you just kind of reset it in your mind and go over it, and I can picture everything that has happened, but it's only now that I've had a couple of days to reflect on it for the fact that, wow, that was a bit bigger than I thought it was. You know, at the time, adrenaline takes over, and you know you have to do what you have to do. When you do sit back and reflect, do you think to yourself, boy, that was scary. That could have been a lot worse than it was. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the two scariest points were when we tried to evac using the police vehicle. I was walking up the road in front of the vehicle because the visibility was next to zero, and Seclusion Bay Road has an embankment on the one side of the road, and the opposite side of the road is about a 150-foot drop down to the road below. So when we got into that situation, I just remember I was about 15 or 20 feet in front of the vehicle, and I couldn't breathe anymore, and I could see the flames coming, and you can hear stuff rolling down the bank, and I thought, I got to get out of here. Yeah. And I turned around, and I couldn't see the vehicle that I left. Well, you know, it got to the point where, okay, you know, enough is enough. If we go any further, you can get trapped from all sides. Yeah. And it just, the flight takes over, right? Yeah.
You know, one thing you mentioned too, Seclusion Bay is kind of an area where not a lot of people go. It's tough to get to. It's tough to get out of. So there's basically one road in, one road out. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. To my understanding, there's only Seclusion Bay Road that snakes down to the lake from there. What's
next for you? Just kind of get back to the front lines, or are you dealing with any of the fire situation on the lakeshore side?
You know what? I'm not doing any of that right now. The kind of whole joke of the matter was Monday was a shift that I wasn't actually scheduled to do.
Really?
I just kind of went in. The watch, every RCMP detachment has different watches. And the watch that I went into work with on the Monday was the one that I normally do all my duties with. And I remember I phoned up my friend, Constable Rotley, on Monday morning, and I jokingly said to him, I said, you know, I'll come in and do one last shift with you because, you know, what happens on a Monday? And I think I might have cursed myself by saying that. But Monday was actually my last shift as an auxiliary constable.
Oh, wow.
I actually leave Sunday morning for depot in Regina, Saskatchewan.
Is that right?
So I'm trained to be a full-time member.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations.
Well, thanks. So that's kind of the funny part about it is I wasn't supposed to work Monday, and it was supposed to be just say goodbye to the guys and go sort of thing.
You ever going to pick up a Monday shift again?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I got to get one more question out of you. The Okanagan Sun, you're a former member of the Okanagan Sun. What do you know about the team this year, and how do you think they'll do?
You know what? I have nothing but respect for the Okanagan Sun coaching staff and the caliber of coaches that we've had right from the get-go. And with my 4 years of involvement with the Okanagan Sun, I honestly believe that the talent pool that they will recruit, and no matter what the players are like that they get this year, the talent from the coaching staff and the hard work from everyone involved with the Sun, I think that they're going to mold themselves a good team. And I can remember from my involvement that, you know, with our conditioning and with our training, that we're always competitors in the league, and I think they'll do quite well this year.
You know, competitors on the league, then when you leave the football team, the organization, you become competitors in life, and you're a great example of that. Greg Barnard, thanks so much for joining us.
So thank you so much for your time.
That's Auxiliary Constable Greg Barnard, former Okanagan Sun from 1994 to 1997, and his heroic story. To Greg and the many men and women that serve in forestry and the fire departments and the police departments, we thank you each and every day for risking your life to save ours. Until next time, I'm Ryan Waters.